5 creepy horror books that will keep you up this fall, so let's get into it. So first up, we're starting with a classic, The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. So this book came out in the early 70s, and it basically set the standard for possession horror. It follows Reagan, a 12-year-old girl in Washington, D.C. who starts acting not just a little off, but downright terrifying. Her mom tries everything, doctors, psychiatrists, but nothing explains what's happening until she finally turns to the church. And that's where the exorcism comes in, and yes, it is intense, and it's creepy, and honestly, even a little heartbreaking at times. So for me, this book wasn't necessarily like a jump out of your skin, scary type of book, but it is very eerie and very unsettling at times. And there is a scene in this book that will haunt you, stay with you for the rest of your days, I swear. To this day, it makes my hair stand straight up. It's definitely a slower burn, very atmospheric, but it definitely fits the classic spooky season. So if you want a horror novel that basically defined the genre, this is a must-read for fall. Next up is The Haunting of Ashburn House by Darcy Coates, and oh my gosh, this is the book that made me fall in love with this author. It follows Adrian that inherits this creepy, crumbling old mansion that everybody in town whispers about. The rumors are wild that the last owner went insane, that the halls are still haunted, and that something really dark is lurking inside. At first, Adrian just sees it as a place to live, but then weird things start happening. Messages scratched into the walls, furniture moving when she leaves the room. She realizes she's definitely not alone in this house. This book definitely had me with chills running down my body more than once. I'm not even kidding, when I would finish reading this book at night, I was scared to walk down my own hallways in my house. Like, it was so eerie. There's one scene in particular that got under my skin so bad, no spoilers, but it was terrifying. So if you want a haunted house story that feels classic but actually delivers on the scares, this one is perfect for fall. Okay, next up is Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates, and wow, this one is creepy but in such a different way. This story follows Margot, who inherits her family's old winery after her parents pass away. At first it sounds like just a big empty estate, but here's the catch. The vineyard is built on land where hundreds of convicts were once executed. The locals believe the ground is cursed, and let's just say the more time Margot spends there, the harder it is to deny that something really sinister is going on here. This book is definitely a slower build, but I think that's what makes it so suspenseful. I swear the tension will creep on you little by little until suddenly you realize you've been holding your breath the entire book. I had goosebumps and shivers the entire time that I was reading this, and some of the haunting scenes are so eerie that my skin literally crawled. So if you're looking for a really good haunted, atmospheric read that will give you legit chills, this is a great one for spooky season. Next up is Salem's Lot by Stephen King, and this is one of his most classic and creepiest horror stories. So this book follows Ben Mears, a writer who has come back to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot to write his book, and he wants to dig into the dark history of this old mansion, the Marston House. But of course, almost right away, strange things start happening. 2 boys go into the woods and only one comes back. And from there, the whole town starts falling under the grip of something dark. And Ben comes to the realization that he's dealing with evil on a much bigger scale than even he imagined. This was the first Stephen King book that I ever read, and I think it was a great one to start with. This book had me on the edge of my seat the entire time, and there were scenes that were literally so unsettling that I caught myself like holding my breath. It's very suspenseful, and it has such strong fall vibes with the small New England town setting. If you're looking for a creepy and just classic horror novel, this one is such a solid pick. Perfect for spooky season. And finally, I had to save the scariest for last. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. It by Stephen King. This book takes place in the town of Derry, Maine, where something very evil is lurking in the shadows. To the adults, the town seems normal, but to the kids, they know better. They're the ones that really see what's going on. A creature that hides in the drains, the sewers, shifting into whatever you fear most. It preys on kids, and this story follows this group of friends as they face it while they're young, and then again as adults when horror comes back. I don't know what it is about this book, but this is one of the most terrifying books that I have ever read. It is massive, and honestly a little daunting, but I loved it. Some of the scenes in this book literally give me chills to this day, and fun fact, when I would like finish reading this book at night, instead of like walking slowly back to my bed in my bedroom, I would like turn the lights off and like run. Like I would get into bed so fast. But I just love that. It's so fun to read these horror books and just feel that terror and just feel the excitement of it all. I think one of the things though that makes this book really stand out is the kids. Their friendship is so strong, and just their banter and dialogue. Like it actually made me laugh at times. It feels real and it feels authentic, and that bond between them makes the horror hit even harder because you really do come to care about them. This book is definitely eerie and very unsettling, but it's also very different than the other books that I recommended in this video. Just a heads up, it does have some tougher elements, and the ending does get a little wild because Stephen King's brain, it works in mysterious ways. But overall, you guys, it's a true classic. So seriously though, if you want a horror book that will absolutely haunt you this fall, this is it. Pennywise has definitely become my all-time favorite horror character ever. And just remember, you'll float too. Alright, those are my top 5 horror books for spooky season. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I upload new videos every week. And let me know in the comments what the scariest book that you've ever read is, or if you plan to add one of these or all of these to your TBR. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.